Welcome to this special edition of 6 News. I'm Jack Harm. As we join you tonight, history is being made. The polls were once again horribly wrong for the Democrats. As we go to air right now, President Trump is winning in a lot of key states, and that is making many people nervous. We are seeing the race for the White House tightening between Joe Biden and President Trump. We also are getting reporting at this hour that the White House, the one that you will see in just a moment, the one that people are racing for, both Joe Biden and President Trump are racing for at this early hour in the United States. Well, the White House is the home of President Trump, where he's just had a press conference claiming victory of the election. But Joe Biden is also claiming that he is very hopeful for victory. So at this point, both candidates are hopeful. No one has conceded, and lots of counting will need to be happening in those key states, particularly Minnesota, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, which will decide the fate of the election. Let's take a listen to what the president said a short time ago about the election.
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
To a room full of unmasked supporters there, his family and his party faithful there in the White House. But we heard about an hour before the president, Joe Biden speaking to the media in what was a socially distanced event with a lot of his supporters in vehicles and cars wearing masks. And we saw him come out with his wife to say that they were very happy with the way the election was going. Take a listen.
We knew this was going to go long, but who knew we're going to go into maybe tomorrow morning, maybe even longer. But look, we feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. Yes. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote, it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted.
And Joe Biden is right. It is not over until every single vote is counted. So what happens from here? Well, in the morning time in the United States, which will be late into our night time, the votes will continue to be counted. They will restart the counting process in a number of states. But what we have heard at this hour, President Trump is looking to take the fight to the Supreme Court. We understand that lawyers were put on standby prior to the election, and those lawyers are being called up. This will now turn into a fight between lawyers to see what happens with the count. But at this stage, we don't know who the president could be, and it really could be a matter of days until we understand that. Well, Leonardo Puglisi is our reporter who's been following the Twitter sphere and also the social media reaction. We understand that there's also been a large campaign of disinformation. Let's take a look.
Americans have been put on alert today over misinformation after thousands of suspicious robocalls and texts bombarded voters as they began to cast their ballots. Reports online indicate that spam calls urge voters to stay home, with some even saying that the election had been delayed or cancelled, even telling some people to vote tomorrow. The Washington Post reports that the origins of each of the calls and texts remains unclear, but that the FBI is now investigating and that officials are working quickly to stamp out misinformation. It comes amid more misinformation spreading online regarding everything from mail-in ballots to the health of the presidential candidates. And as more results begin to come in tonight, 6 News has uncovered hundreds, maybe thousands of tweets, all with the same message: I'm no longer a Biden supporter. Twitter has since banned the full phrase from its searches. Leonardo Puglisi, 6 News.
So there you heard Leonardo Puglisi with that report, some original reporting as well. Let's take a look at these images of protests about an hour or so ago coming into the 6 newsroom. You can see a large police presence there in Washington. I want to bring in now our chief presenter, Leonardo Puglisi, who joins us down the line. Leo, good evening to you. What are you hearing of these protests?
Yeah, good evening to you, Jack. Obviously great that I was able to join, but the protests, they certainly seem to have picked up over the last couple of hours, and especially there have been some reports of violence, unconfirmed reports, I shall stress, but violence over what Trump said in his speech regarding the fact he may contest these results and the fact he already appears to be declaring victory. Protests, they've been peaceful for most of the day, but there, as I said, reports of violence. There's also been, and we were talking about earlier, an Antifa protest that was yelling, quote, F, not saying F, but you can imagine what they were saying, F Donald Trump and F Joe Biden. They are very left-leaning, so they were saying no more presidents, but
yeah, and that's right. You know, you speak of Antifa there, and of course many other political parties and extremist groups that align themselves with different ideologies are out. Leo, we are seeing these protests as we go to air right now, vision that is just coming in, and you can see that live shot of the White House. Before we leave you tonight, what is some late breaking news that you have for us in regards to what people are saying and where to from here?
Yeah, well, what most people are saying is regarding the main states. Trending on Twitter, from what I've seen currently, is Arizona and Maine. Both of those states gone to Joe Biden. We obviously Fox News called Arizona for Biden earlier, but the AP, Associated Press, that is, has now confirmed it. And also trending is POTUS, Supreme Court, and rigged. But where to from now? Well, it's going to be a long road to victory, no matter who is winning. And, you know, we'll try to keep on this for as long as possible. You know, I don't think all of us will try to go to sleep tonight, but it'll be hard. We're going to have to try to watch it for as long as possible, but we will continue to update you. And, you know, we'll see what will the reaction be to whoever wins. No matter who wins, there will be some definite protests and potentially violence, but it's going to be an interesting race, and we may even know it this weekend.
Definitely a very interesting race there, as we just quickly stick with these live images coming from the Republican Senate here, and then also this main map. Take a look at that as we go to air right now at 7:40 in Sydney, 6:40 in Queensland, and a very early hour in the United States. Biden at 220 electoral votes and President Trump trailing behind a number of key states. Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania are some states to look out for. At this point, they are waiting for the mail-in ballots to be counted. They can be counted for days on end, so we might not know. Another state to look out for, the state of Georgia. We understand that some more mail-in votes could come in there. A traditionally Republican state could swing blue. Democrats are hopeful. And Arizona, that has been called to be Joe Biden by a number of news organizations like Fox News. We have not called it yet, but as you can see, it is a very close race. Leonardo Puglisi, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you for joining us. Stay with 6 News for continuous coverage on our social media platforms. Before we go, we want to say a very big thank you to Splash Zone Media for powering tonight. So if you have any media or production needs in Brisbane or the Gold Coast, contact the team. I'm Jack Khan on behalf of Leonardo Puglisi and our team, Josh and Luke. Thanks for your company. Have a wonderful night and stay with us for continuing coverage.